Why did Nintendo fumble this game so hard? It made me really sad because I love history and gaming. So when Nintendo announced a game that would allow us to delve deeper into the history we saw in Breath of the Wild, I was pretty excited about it. But then the game came out, and it turned out to be an alternate timeline where people go back in time to help Link and the gang win, since we obviously couldn't have a game where at the end you lose.
I didn't even bother finishing it because it made me so sad just playing it.
Warriors games are also not the most entertaining things in the world in my opinion, so I dropped the game and haven't finished it to this day. Age of Imprisonment, on the other hand,
is cinema.
Nintendo knew they fucked up hiding that Age of Calamity wasn't canon, so all the marketing for this game was all experience the canonical tale in the Legend of Zelda series. Which I appreciate the honesty, but it's also kind of amusing because it's basically them admitting that they knew that people didn't really like what they did with Age of Calamity. And what makes it all worse is the fact that after playing through all of Age of Imprisonment, it makes me yearn for a timeline where we got the canonical events from Breath of the Wild in Age of Calamity. Where do I even start talking about these games? Oh yeah, with hitting that subscribe button. We're so close to 1,000 subscribers, and once we do hit it, I'm going to be choosing one random subscriber to win my giveaway. In all seriousness though, the biggest thing that was probably going through Nintendo's heads when making Age of Calamity was that they couldn't have a game where the good guys lose at the end. Which I guess to their point would have made for a pretty sad ending. Link would have been sealed away, the champions would have died, and Zelda would have had to seal herself away.
Yeah, that sucks, but we also know that they win in the end. And I don't think that the target demographic for this game are newcomers to the Zelda series. It's for people who played Breath of the Wild and want more. Tears of the Kingdom works better in my opinion because while the ending is sad with Rauru trapping himself with Ganon, Zelda going through Dragonification, and the Night Construct dying, it still feels like you've won, if that makes sense. I just replayed through Tears of the Kingdom on the Switch too. I know that we win in the end. So the fact that we don't necessarily win in this game doesn't bother me. And it wouldn't have bothered me in Age of Calamity either. I mean, the fact that they almost seamlessly introduced new parts of the story with the Night and Gloom constructs and found ways to make sure that it wouldn't change anything in Tears of the Kingdom was astonishing. And it also gave some sense of triumph, since the Knight's final battle was won while the normal story was lost, or rather put on hold since Rauru just trapped themselves. And I mean, this entire ending sequence is just so good, man, and they could have easily done something similar with Age of Calamity. Also, side note, but I love how they made the sages actual characters in this game. I love Tears of the Kingdom, it's in my top 10 favorite games of all time, but by far one of the worst aspects of the game is how these four guys have no character. They barely move, barely speak, and tell you the same story 4 fucking times. This game, though, fixes them and makes me actually like the characters. They have personalities, and it feels like you're watching people interact and not models in a game reading from a script. Nintendo really should have released $30 amiibo alongside the game's release. But for real, this is what Age of Calamity could have been. It starts out well, watching Link become Zelda's protector and seeing the Calamity start, and we could have had similar gameplay and story beats to Age of Imprisonment, fending off the land from Ganon and his monsters, and then once the Blights come into the picture, the 4 champions go off to fight them alone, we then fight each Blight using each champion, we get their health low, it doesn't die, and then the screen fades off or something, because Nintendo is not gonna show them getting brutally murdered. The most they'll do is show Sonya getting a pat on the back from Ganon that somehow kills her. Also, why wasn't this face in Age of Imprisonment? I waited for it, only for it to never show up. But anyways, back to what Age of Calamity could have been. So after we fight and lose to the Blights, we cut to Zelda and Link fighting, we lose to some boss, Link is about to die, we take him to the Shrine of Resurrection, and then we fight Calamity Ganon with Zelda and seal him away. Yeah, it's sad, but that's the point of the story.
And again, we know that they win.
So yeah, I am sad that Age of Calamity is the way that it is. It's not a bad game, it's just not what I personally would have wanted. And at least we ended up getting Age of Imprisonment, a game that I wasn't even hyped for. I just happened to pick it up on release and realize
That I had just played through peak. I love the game, but what do you think?